Welcome to the online public meeting for the Capital I-10 West Extension project. This presentation provides an overview of the project, including project history, current status, and next steps. Display boards and maps from the in-person public meetings are available to view or download under the Resources tab on the project website at valleymetro.org/capital. This is a map of the high-capacity transit system in the current Regional Transportation Plan, approved by voters in 2004. It shows the currently operating 28-mile light rail system, along with planned future extensions that expand the system to 50 miles. Phase 1 of the Capital I-10 West project is shown as a dashed dark blue line, and Phase 2 as a dashed gray line. It extends from downtown Phoenix to the Arizona State Capitol, then west along I-10 to the 79th Avenue Park and Ride. The project is designed to help meet travel demand in the West Valley and improve connections to important activity areas like government centers and entertainment facilities. Transit was envisioned along I-10 west of the Capitol as far back as 1978, when the freeway median was designated for future high-capacity transit in federally approved I-10 planning documents. The last section of I-10 was completed in 1990 and included that reserved median, which runs entirely through the Capital I-10 West study area. And in 2000, the Capital I-10 West study area was identified as a future high-capacity transit corridor in the voter-approved Phoenix Transit Plan, known as Transit 2000. Then, in 2005, the project was included in the Regional Transportation Plan approved by voters as Proposition 400. In 2005, projects were expected to be completed by the years shown on the map. Many of those completion years were impacted by funding shortfalls from the economic downturn known as the Great Recession that began in 2008. In 2012, the Phoenix City Council approved this route as the preferred light rail route for the Capital I-10 West extension. The route is defined in sections: the downtown section from downtown to I-17 and the Mainline section from I-17 to 79th Avenue. Specific station locations in the downtown sections were not yet identified, but target areas were identified and are shown on the map as the tan-colored circles. Along I-10, stations were planned as shown on the map, at 35th Avenue in the freeway median, and as the route then transitions to the north side of the freeway, stations are identified on the north side at 51st, 59th, 67th, and 79th Avenues. This map shows all of the options that were evaluated in the Mainline section of the project. The orange routes were not selected primarily because they had slower travel times, greater property impacts, and presented challenges in crossing the railroad tracks. The blue line shows the route that was selected, the route running along I-10. Numerous routes and route combinations were evaluated in the downtown section of the project. Again, the orange routes are the routes that were not selected, primarily because they did not provide good connections between the Capitol and downtown, and had significant property and traffic impacts and higher costs to build. The blue line shows the route that was selected, one way along Washington and Jefferson to 7th Avenue, then two-way along Jefferson, north on either 18th Avenue or 19th Avenue, which depends on additional analysis, then west on Van Buren to I-17 and north to I-10. In 2016, Phoenix voters approved the Transportation 2050 program, providing an opportunity to reevaluate the schedule of projects. Schedule changes included phasing the Capital I-10 West project, Phase 1 from downtown Phoenix to the Capitol with the completion date of 2023, and Phase 2 from the Capitol to 79th Avenue to be completed by 2030. Other changes included advancing the completion dates for the South Central and Northwest Phase 2 extension projects. In 2017, the downtown hub was added to the South Central Extension project, which expanded it into the Capitol I-10 West project area. This provided the opportunity to take a fresh look at the downtown connection and extension to the state capitol, and in particular, to reevaluate Washington Street as the route from downtown to the Capitol area as compared to the 2012 approved route, shown here, that runs primarily along Jefferson Street. This map shows a closer view of the downtown section of the 2012 approved route. Note the dashed lines on the west side of the map. When this route was approved, it was uncertain how it would connect from Jefferson to Van Buren. Therefore, both options were shown as possible routes. The 2012 approved route serves as the baseline for comparing potential options using Washington Street. Key considerations for this option, as compared to other options, include putting both tracks on Jefferson will likely have greater impact on traffic and properties, and challenging connection to Phase 2 of the project. In reevaluating Washington Street, three concepts have emerged. Concept A, shown here, puts both eastbound and westbound light rail on Washington Street west of 7th Avenue. Key considerations for this concept include: 1. Putting both tracks on Washington will likely have greater impact on traffic, properties, and the existing streetscape. And 2. Narrow right-of-way on Adams Street curve near Wesley Boland Park. Concept B puts westbound light rail on Washington and eastbound on Jefferson between 15th Avenue and downtown, with both tracks on Washington and Adams Streets from 15th Avenue west to the Capitol. Key considerations for this concept include: 1. Light rail will take less space in the roadway in the section where there is one track each on Washington and Jefferson, and 2. Narrow right-of-way on Adams Street curve near Wesley Boland Park. In Concept C, westbound light rail is on Washington and Adams Streets and eastbound on Jefferson between downtown and 17th Avenue, with multiple options west of 17th Avenue to connect to 19th Avenue and Van Buren. Key considerations for this concept include: 1. Potential impacts to state properties. 2. With only one track in each on Washington and Jefferson, light rail will take less space in the roadway. And 3. Less difficulty to fit in the narrow right-of-way on Adams Street curve near Wesley Boland Park, with only one track being necessary in this section. In addition to reevaluating Washington Street as a route option, the project team is looking at other types of transit for the segment along I-10, funding options, and a possible extension to Desert Sky Mall, with community and stakeholder engagement occurring throughout the study process. An extension to Desert Sky Mall, shown on the map here, connects to several schools and activity centers, increasing the project ridership, and could help achieve development goals in the area. This extension could also increase the overall project cost. The project team is also looking at ways to complete the project sooner. 4 scenarios are being evaluated. Scenario A would build light rail in one construction phase. This is how the project was originally approved in 2012. Scenario B is the phased project approved by City Council in 2016. That is, building light rail in 2 phases, first from downtown to the state capitol, then from the Capitol to 79th Avenue. Scenario C would build light rail in 3 construction phases, first from downtown to the Capitol, then from the Capitol to 59th Avenue, and a third phase from 59th Avenue to 79th Avenue. Scenario D would build light rail from downtown to the Capitol in one phase, and then build exclusive busway from downtown to 79th Avenue in the second phase. Each of these scenarios also includes the option of extending to Desert Sky Mall. Key considerations in evaluating the scenarios include how quickly construction could be completed, the type of transit that would be implemented, whether or not transfers would be needed, and the overall cost to build. In the Mainline section of the project along I-10, transit would run in the median of the freeway from I-17 to about 49th Avenue, where it would transition to the north side of the freeway. This photo simulation shows light rail along the north side at 67th Avenue between the auto travel lanes and a large drainage channel within the freeway right-of-way. This photo simulation shows the same area, but with transit operating as an exclusive busway, a high-quality, bus-based transit service being considered for the Mainline section of the project to potentially complete the project more quickly. The team will continue technical analysis and community engagement and will present the results and seek additional input in the next few months, including another round of public meetings. Results and recommendations from the study will be presented to Phoenix City Council this summer. Jesus Chaparro is Valley Metro's Community Relations Coordinator for this project. If you have any questions or comments, please contact Jesus or visit the project website at valleymetro.org/capital. Again, all public meeting materials, including a feedback form, are available on the project website. Thank you for your interest in the project.